My name is Dominic Schwebs, and I'm with safeandvaultstore.com. I'm going to give you 7 things to consider before buying a gun safe. Finding a gun safe can be challenging. There are so many things to consider, such as your budget, fire ratings, steel thicknesses, how many guns you're going to store, and things like that. So how do you find a gun safe that works for you? The first thing to consider is your budget. So what you can afford will determine the best options available in your price range. Even if you decide after researching that you need something a little more expensive, at least you have a starting point on where you can start looking for gun safes. The next step is determining how many rifles you want to store inside your gun safe. Remember to account for growth, as you're going to add more rifles in the future and probably other items like paperwork and valuables and things like that, and they require more space. You don't want to buy something too small and then have to always upgrade it later. Remember that rifles with scopes also take up an extra gun slot. So for example, if a gun safe says it can hold 22 rifles, that's equivalent to 11 rifles with scopes. So you want to keep that in mind. You also don't want your rifles banging into each other and maybe causing damage to the optics or scratches to your rifle. The next step is to figure out how long of a fire rating you need. So a gun safe with a fire rating means it has fire material in between the steel walls. It's either going to be a drywall material or a concrete composite material. Both types are designed to keep the heat out of the inside of the safe. If you're in the city, a 1-hour fire rating is going to be plenty, as the fire department's going to get there in time to put some water on the fire and cool it down. A 2-hour fire rating might be a better choice if you're out in the country where it's going to take the fire department longer to get to you. You might also consider a longer fire rating if you live in a state with frequent forest fires, such as California or Washington. Rifles are not the only thing that you're going to want to protect from a fire. You might also be storing important paperwork or valuables. The fire tests ensure that the inside temperature does not exceed 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You might also check where the safe manufacturer had the fire test done. If you want real fire protection, consider safes tested by a reputable company like Intertech ETL. You're going to see these stickers on the inside of the door on the gun safe that say 1 hour, 2 hours, 90 minutes, etc. The next thing to consider when buying a gun safe is the security protection. So how secure do you need? Security is just as important as fire protection. How secure you want your gun safe depends on your budget and the value of the items you're putting inside. Here are some security features to look at. The steel thickness. So the thicker the steel, the more secure your gun safe will be, and the longer it will take someone to break in. The higher the gauge, the thinner the metal. The lower the gauge, the thicker the metal. And then the next thing is your bolt work. So the more bolts, the longer and the thicker they are, the harder the door will be to pry open. You might also look for some other features like a hard plate, which sits between the outside steel and the lock. It's going to make it harder for someone to drill the safe open, drill the lock out. A relocker, that's something that'll fire if someone's tampering with the locking mechanism. That's going to lock up the bolts and keep the safe from opening. You might also see different burglar ratings on the safes as well, such as a RSC rating, a residential security container. This is a physical test done on the safe door, and you're going to see these labels on the inside of the door. You can go to our website to learn more about what the different burglar ratings mean. We have a page specific for that. The next thing to consider is the lock choices. What lock is best for you? There are many different lock options to choose from, and each one comes down to personal preference. Each lock has pros and cons, so you have to decide which one works best for you. The dial combination lock is a mechanical lock. You want to make sure it's rated UL Group 2. And this lock is the most reliable because the technology has been around for over 100 years. You'll also see a key cylinder in the lock. That's a key locking dial and just adds an extra level of security by allowing you to lock that dial. The next lock choice is a digital electronic lock. This lock is becoming more popular because it's going to give you the quickest access to your firearms in an emergency. You can also change the combination at any time. Make sure the electronic lock is UL rated Type 1. Another lock choice is a biometric lock. So this allows you to not have to worry about forgetting a combination or losing a key. All you need to do is swipe your fingerprint and it gives you immediate access to your firearms. The next step is to choose your location. Where should you put your gun safe? The location of your gun safe is essential because you want to ensure it's in a place where you can easily access, but not a place where a burglar would first check. If you put your gun safe in an area that's hard to access, you may not even put your items into it that need protection. One of the most secure places to put your gun safe is in a basement bolted to the floor. A primary bedroom closet may be convenient, but it might be the first place a burglar is going to check. You might have to consider the weight too when you're thinking about the location. A 1,000-pound gun safe, or heavier, may be too heavy if it's going on a second or third floor, so you have to consider that also. Finally, choose the options that you need. Some gun safes offer different color options, hardware options, handles, jewelry cabinets, and more. If you're worried about humidity, you may also want to add a dehumidifier rod. A light kit illuminates your items if it's going in a dark area. There are many different options to choose from that allow you to customize your gun safe. As you can tell, not all gun safes are created equal. There are many things to consider before buying a gun safe. Safe and Vault Store tries to make it easier for you. If you have any questions, give us a call at 800-207-2259. Thank you for watching. My name is Dominic with Safe and Vault Store.